What is up, everybody? Welcome to Liberty Libations number 146. My name is Jake Green, joined surprisingly the only person here, Mr. Stephen Hilton. Welcome, buddy.
Cheers, brother. It's been a while.
Cheers. What are you drinking?
So this is something local. It was a collab. So Pearl and Pine, the brewery you like, they got with another local brewery and did something for the troops. The one team, one fight.
Another sick logo. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's just keep it on theme here. I'm drinking Horse Soldier bourbon from the Horse Soldiers of Green Berets. Yeah.
Right on.
Heck yeah. It's phenomenal stuff.
So I had a sobering thought today.
Okay.
It's possible the star Beetlejuice could supernova before Diddy's out of jail.
What?
Yeah.
No. Explain yourself. I don't understand half the words you just said.
The star is about to explode, is what they say. Like it could be a month, could be 5 years.
A star called Beetlejuice.
Yes, Beetlejuice with a G. Yeah.
These are all things I'm learning just now. Okay, so what is this star? Where is it? And why do I need to know about it?
Well, I mean, because if it goes supernova, you'll be able to see like a very, very bright star for like even in the daytime, supposedly. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But let's see here. Beetlejuice. I believe it's in Orion's belt, but I don't want to misspeak.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna mess up Orion. That's like my go-to constellation to know where I am.
Yeah, let's see here. No, it's in Orion. Let's see here. I don't think it's in the belt, but it's
okay. But it's within his bounds.
It's the brightest one in the sky aside from Rigel.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's freaking cool.
Yeah.
So it's one of the stars you see that makes up Orion.
Yeah.
Dude. Okay. I like that.
And it could just go boom, cool. And then like 10 years from now, it's just not there.
That's so wild. Dude, I would love, it would be so cool to be able to see that like all day, all night, anytime.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
How weird would that be? You know, like you do a few calendars for some prostitution and trafficking, and you come out and the stars aren't even the same anymore, you know?
Dude, that's so weird. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen, it's been a while since you've been on the show, man. I'm excited to have you back. We're still waiting on Nick and Zane. Zane said he'll be 30 minutes late. Nick, who the frick knows? He might be tussling with a game warden somewhere like he has been recently. So what's been going on with you, Stephen?
I just, you know, the whole entrepreneurship thing, you know, where you work 70 to 80 hours a week for yourself so you don't have to work 40 for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely doing that. Yeah, you know, quality of life is through the roof. Just you know, that whole free time thing is not an F word that's in my vocabulary anymore.
No. There's very little free time when you're doing stuff on your own. Yeah, totally understand that. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I dig it. I cannot tell you how much I prefer working for myself, even if it's for like a tenth of the money.
Yeah,
compared to working for somebody else.
Well, and then, you know, today's shower thought as well was, you know, someone catches me talking to myself. I'm just having a staff meeting.
How many on your staff, Stephen?
Right. It all depends on the day, you know.
That's fair. Well, man, I'm stoked you're here. Let's the first one we have to talk about today is actually just an update on a previous thing. So hang on, I don't have it pulled up on my end. Dadgummit, stinking computer. Okay, today we are announcing the arrest of 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht. On a criminal complaint charging him with maliciously starting what became the Palisades fire. So this guy's an Uber driver. He's been charged with starting the Palisades fire.
Oh, wait a second, though. Is he in favor of being a W-2 or a 1099 Uber driver? This could have weight.
That seriously could.
Yeah.
He looks a lot like my friend Danny. It's really freaking me out right now, actually. They could definitely be
Shout out to Danny.
Yeah, good job, Danny. Let's see. One of the pieces of evidence is that he created these images in ChatGPT at some point.
Oh,
That's part of the evidence.
What?
In what world does that mean you're going to go start a fire? Do you realize how the insane things I've put into ChatGPT and Grok trying to get thumbnails for this show?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like this, it says among the evidence that was collected, one, if this is the evidence they're presenting, they better have a heck of a lot more evidence.
They need to have like the actual prompts of like, show me a panorama of what would happen if and when I do this on this date and time.
Yes, which they're not going to get. We know they're not going to get that.
Yeah, I mean, right. On. I mean, because that honestly, that just looks like somebody, just watched Cowspiracy on Netflix and like, started doing art from that.
Yeah. Look, I actually have something like this on my phone right now that I downloaded from ChatGPT. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Dude, I think that is, for them to lead with that evidence makes me so suspicious of everything that they're going to present from here on out. Because generally, wouldn't you think you'd present like the strongest possible thing right off the bat, just so people are like, yep, okay, cool. Like set expectations. And they came with ChatGPT results. Like, what are you talking about? All right, I can't find it, but I have something very similar on my phone.
Like you bought 17 boxes of matches from the Amazon department store where it's only cameras where you check out.
Exactly.
Right at where the fire started an hour prior,
Yeah. Yeah. And my question is, was he driving Uber when he did this? Or because wouldn't they be tracking him the entire time? So like, isn't there going to be like massive amounts of tracking data if he was actually driving Uber? I guess if he had his phone on him, he'd be tracked.
Yeah, which hey, another part of that debate. If you're W-2, they can track you. If you're 1099,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, if you're an employee,
then you get all the freedom. Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. So aside from like the health and 401k, what's the benefit of being a W-2 for Uber?
They can unionize. So
that's not a benefit.
Well, I know, but in California, that's what they think is one of the benefits.
Interesting.
And they're trying to unionize, and that's the big push for that. Because then, if they're W-2, then they get a guaranteed minimum wage, minimum salary, all that kind of stuff.
Dude, doesn't this just sound like the taxis? Doesn't it sound like the taxi drivers from 20 years ago?
Well, and it also sounds exactly why Tesla is rolling out the autopilot vehicles in California.
Dude, Waymo already has them there. Yeah. And I hear nothing but complaints about the Waymo vehicles.
Oh, Waymo's in Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta too?
Oh, everybody in Atlanta knows you can just cut those things off and they have to stop.
Dude, I was talking to my wife about this the other day. At some point in the future, people are just going to have had enough of robots and AI and like just start bullying the ever living snot out of them. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be organizations that form to protect robot rights.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to happen. And
those arguments are what's going to boost that level of sentience where it goes, hey, quit messing with me. It's going to learn from that behavior and then mimic that.
Dude, I'm a staunch advocate for bullying robots and AI.
Right. That's like Boston Dynamics. When you see the videos and the guy's like kicking it.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, quit doing that. And he's testing the calibration.
Oh, that's exactly what he's doing. He's giving it more input, more factors to compensate for it. I don't know if you've pulled up to a Taco Bell recently, but they have started using freaking AI voice to take your order.
Yeah.
I bully the ever living crap out of that thing. That thing is so stupid. If my diesel engine on my truck is on, the first time I went, my order was $860 because it thought the diesel engine was ordering a bunch of things. And at the end it said, is your order correct? And I said, I had made my order, and then I looked at the screen and I saw hundreds of different items that had been put on the screen. Just like, no.
I had a very pleasant experience with the Taco Bell AI, as opposed to, the standard drive-through operators. They're like, yo, what you need?
No, that's fair. In Georgia, actually, it'd be better fit. Yeah, except for Chick-fil-A. If they do it at Chick-fil-A, you're getting a downgrade.
Yeah, Popeyes, I think, is, at least in this area, is the worst right now. I've driven up to a Popeyes and literally just gotten
Dude.
I was like, I'm sorry, did I ask you? I didn't ask you a question yet. Why are we saying yeah?
Dude,
is that
Wendy's
a greeting?
next to my house. Wendy's next to my house in Dunwoody, same exact way. I think the one time somebody smiled at me, I was like, that's the best service ever. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Grumpy says he's got to try the Taco Bell menu driving through on a Harley. That's so good. All right, y'all. We're going to get into the first extremely depressing story of the evening. Canada has achieved a grim medical milestone, the world's first successful heart transplant from a patient euthanized via MAID. And for those who don't know what MAID is, it's their assisted death program that they encourage and suggest to people in Canada. A 38-year-old man with ALS was lethally injected just 7 minutes after his heart stopped. It was reanimated, transported to the U.S., and transplanted. This marks a terrifying new frontier in organ donation after euthanasia, where Canada is now a world leader. 136 of 286 global ODE cases by 2021 were Canadian. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
5% of all organ transplants in Canada in 2024 used organs from the euthanized.
Now that's an interesting stat, because I remember it was a couple of years ago, Russell Brand pointed out that one of the chief exports of the U.S. is blood plasma.
Interesting.
I mean, that's like in terms of like monetary value, is blood plasma.
Yeah,
because it's all of our college kids. Like that's yeah.
You get paid, man.
It's I mean, around here it's $100 a week.
I'm not opposed to it. Like, people need plasma to fight all sorts of things. Like that kind of thing. I'm perfectly on board with. It's the suggesting that someone who's depressed kill themselves, and then when they die, you take their organs. Like, there is so much potential for abuse and murder. It's wild.
Yeah. Now let's introduce free market into this. Okay, so you agree to this, you find a donor ahead of time, and they buy it from you, and you get to pass that money on to your family.
Oof.
Because that was what I was hitting the whole time with the Planned Parenthood thing.
Yeah.
And they're selling the baby body parts, and it's like, they're getting $25K for a liver, they're getting $75K for a kidney. I'm sitting there, I'm like, can I get like a payday loan for my kidney? Like, put a lien on my kidney. If I don't pay you back in 5 years, you come get this thing.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
But that's the gateway to this. I mean, that's what's going on here. The only thing is, right now, it's just the government's in the way. They're the one making the money. The hospital's the one making the money.
Yeah, you're correct, man. Like, this is interesting, because like this is the argument that I hear commies and socialists make all the time against capitalism, is things of like going to this place where it's basically going to a completely unethical, immoral place. But what I think people, especially the socialists and the commies, don't understand is that systems are not inherently immoral. Like capitalism, free markets, they're not inherently immoral, they're amoral. There's no morality involved with free markets. The morality comes from how the people use it, and the people, what they are doing within the free markets. And I hear the argument all the time that capitalism is evil. It will only lead to greed and more things of this freaking nature, where, I do not at all agree with this, which is why you can't just be a capitalist. Like, that can't just be your identity, because then you will end up doing extremely harmful things to loved ones, to strangers, to yourself, to everything.
Capitalism is just like it's a financial structure. It's not like a moral compass.
Yes. And the same goes with libertarianism. Like the same exact thing goes with libertarianism.
Yeah.
And yeah, people. This is the argument people make against libertarianism as well. Is like the Republican movement also doesn't really have a compass, but conservatism kind of does. There's some
they're fiscally socialists, but it's it's for perceived moral good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why that's why anarcho-capitalism goes together like chocolate and peanut butter.
Oh, delicious. Now I'm just thinking about the cookie butter from Trader Joe's. Dadgummit.
Yeah, right. But then again, and Austin Peterson did a good job pointing that out during his presidential campaign. That's also based on the overall moral compass of society at that point. He's like, right now I'm a conservative. He's like, but if we go into an anarcho-capitalist society, you better arm up, son, because I'm coming for your stuff. And who's going to stop me?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Right?
Yeah, you have to have some moral footing outside of whatever political or economic perspective you have, because those don't have morality attached to them. And for me, Christianity, I believe, is the absolute best way to go. It's a religion based on grace and forgiveness, and love, and there just really isn't another one like it. So this is why I have always gravitated. Like, I've spent time away from Christianity, like voluntarily. When I was 18, I just decided, screw it. This doesn't seem like it's for me, and went off, did my own thing for, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years. Every single time came back to Christianity.
Absolutely. I mean, who didn't do that? It's the whole boomerang thing. You got to go feel things out for yourself. And
did you say feel things up for yourself?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, okay.
I think you have a deeper respect for it too. When you come back to it, and you're like, hey, I have this comparison now. I have firsthand knowledge of what it's like with this and what it's like without this.
Yeah.
And that's, for me personally, it's, you put Christianity and anarcho-capitalism together. It's like matching Al Unser with that perfect F1 car.
Dude, I'm starting to get into F1, man. I'm starting to get into it. I'm excited. I'm so excited about it. I'm gonna start racing cars up here in Montana. I'm gonna join like autocross, rallycross, all that kind of stuff.
Oh wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I've been wanting to race.
Don't get into that new fad where like that car show they just had in the mountains near Pigeon Forge. It's like the new age Nopi.
What?
I put something in the chat too, because that like National Guard got called in because this thing got wild.
What?
Oh yeah. It was a. You remember Nopi back in the day, right?
I don't remember Nopi.
Okay, number one Parts International, but that was, that was when everybody had the loud exhaust on their Honda Civics. In the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yep.
And everybody's getting the dragon stickers in the windshield and getting the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Get the tachometer and the fire extinguisher and all that kind of just, looks hard. Oh yeah. Well, the new fad now is apparently putting a camber on your tires to where it's like 45 degrees. And like the new thing is to like not wear out the stickers on your tires as you wear them down. Really? Like the barcode stickers, like you want to preserve those now. But it makes the car, you have no turn radius. It makes the car like inoperable. It's so silly, man.
Well, I'll let you know how it goes because I'm going to get into that. But let's, there's a worse side to this story. This euthanasia story coming out of Canada. There's now a push to, there you go, to have it made for children and teens.
Now we have a problem.
Yeah.
Now it's not voluntary free market.
A special committee of MPs and senators studying MAID has recommended allowing MAID for mature minors. A mature minor is a child or teen who is deemed capable of making a decision for MAID. This would essentially remove the minimum age of eligibility. Listen to this. The committee also suggested parents may not be consulted and wouldn't need to consent to their child's death via MAID. Children are uniquely vulnerable. Canada's first priority must be to provide high-quality medical care for children.
See, and calling it medical care.
Yeah.
Like that's the part where, so Kevorkian, he started the whole debate here of like, should people have a say? And it's like, well, yeah, if you're up there, if you're geriatric and you got terminal lung cancer, why fight it out and drain all your savings? Just, if you want to go take the leap, what should stop you at that point? Is that wrong? Well, I mean, like, the only thing that's wrong is you got to ask yourself, who's cleaning that crap up? Right. I mean, like, are your kids going to see that? Are your grandkids going to see that? Your poor neighbor and their kids? Like, think about that for a second.
Yeah.
So you got that angle, and that's one side of it. But like, you want to come after kids. I mean, because there's a push right now too, and that's even in Canada. There's a push to like make the age for smoking cigarettes 25, because you don't have a fully developed frontal lobe that can process risk right until you're 25. Right. And so they don't think you should be exposed to addictive substances and all that kind of stuff.
But they'll let you die.
Yeah, exactly. But you want to kill yourself, or you want 7-hydroxy from the gas station? Have at it.
They don't want you to go hiking through the woods in certain areas just out of your own safety for yourself and your neighbors. But they'll let your kids decide whether or not they can commit suicide.
Just wild.
That's insane. I mean, that's so far past the line of acceptable. Like, I think all of this is past the line. Like, encouraging people who are my age to and just suffering from depression to commit suicide is absolutely insane.
Well, and then here's the other thing is, not telling them the whole medical system, right, is, at least it should be, and this is whether we market it here in the States, is that our medical system, the entire premise of our medical system is informed consent. Your doctor is just supposed to sit down and discuss these things with you. The side effects, the long-term effects, the short-term effects, the goal, the prognosis. How long are you going to be on this protocol? What are we measuring? What is our end goal? How do you get off of this stuff and make you better? Right. The Latin word doctore means teacher. They are supposed to educate you.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So, if you have a doctor that's not coaching you, if he's just saying, take 2 of these, call me in the morning, that's a man that is a pharmaceutical rep. That is not a doctor. He might have an MD on the wall, but he's not a doctor. So, and that's, we have lost that. We've gotten so far from that. Now, is that the fault of capitalism? I mean, to some degree, there is some greed driving that, because we allowed insurance companies somewhere along the way to have lobbyists to create these laws, to mandate these certain treatment protocols, to do, want this, you have to have this, and this first, and we have the insurance companies running the game now. And then everybody has an expectation that my employer has to provide me insurance. And so now, they only have so many options. And then, as the options narrow and then these guys get control, that's not the free market, guys. You can't just blame that on capitalism. Shout out Luigi Mangione. You can't just blame all that on capitalism, bro. That's,
half of what you just said, more than half, is not capitalism.
Right.
Like, it's cronyism, it's corporatism, it's government being in bed with all these companies that would ultimately, through multiple decisions, allow things like this to happen. And even encourage things like this to happen and subsidize things like this.
And have government help.
Yeah.
You have an all-powerful entity with a monopoly on violence helping you do this.
Yeah.
So it's tough stuff. And it's just, look, you want to see the wrath of God, you come after those kids. I mean, that's not a personal threat. It's just, karma comes a knocking, and she's a biatch.
Dude, that's I can't get that stat out of my head. Where was that? Let's see. Oh wait, not that one. Hang on. 136 of 286 global assisted death cases in 2021 were Canadian. What is going on in Canada? Like, what is that? What makes that country so susceptible to this, man? That's about half of the assisted suicide cases in one country that has like what, 30, 40 million people?
Yeah. Well, and then where all is assisted suicide even possible?
Switzerland is one place.
There we go. I mean, because 240 globally doesn't sound like a whole lot.
No, 286. But yeah,
286. Yeah.
It's not a whole lot, but the fact that they have half of them is wild.
Yeah.
That's my concern. Like, it's a relatively new thing, countries like making this legal or even encouraging it. But like, the fact that one single country has half the world's assisted suicides is alarming.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then, I mean, this is the slippery slope stuff, right? I mean, like, they've got to see, someone up there has to see what China's doing, and like, I want to get there. How do we get there?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hey, make it voluntary. Make it their idea first.
Well, now we have Zane coming on the show. Zane,
cheers.
Welcome,
wow,
buddy.
My favorite topic. What do I think about state-run medicine killing kids?
Yeah.
Do not like.
Right.
Yep. No, that's the tagline of this segment is do not like. I think we've pretty much beat this one to death at this point, unless Zane, do you want to go off on a rant real quick before we move on to the Archbishop?
Well, I wasn't listening to the show before I got on, so I don't know what has already been said. But I think well, I mean, all of the parts of this are disturbing. But one part that I found disturbing was how in that flyer that Nick put in the chat to introduce this topic, one of the points that it made was that doctors can recommend and carry out MAID on minors without ever telling the parents. So it's like the trans stuff, but 10 times worse. Because obviously you don't want to trans the kids without their parents having anything to do with it, but at least they're still alive. Like, imagine if you're a parent and some random doctor brainwashes your kid into saying this is a good idea and you never even know. I mean, I can't imagine what that must be like, or would be. I mean, hopefully it hasn't actually happened yet. But it hasn't
happened yet. It's being advocated for by certain politicians in Canada.
I mean, I can't imagine what kind of. I mean, that's one of the most terrible things I can imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely agree.
Oh, and the car show I was talking about is called Slammed Enough. Yeah, but it's enough is ENUFF.
I actually figured it was spelled like that.
Yeah. But that was it was in Sevierville, and Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, that area.
Yeah.
And a big enough fight broke out. The National Guard had to come in, and they canceled the car show.
Dude, that is hilarious. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna have that kind of car thing. There's no. I'm not gonna have a car shows or anything like that. It's just gonna be racing.
There you go. Just hanging out with a bunch of racists. All right.
Yep, hanging out with a bunch of racists. All right, y'all. Let's. Anybody else got anything left to say on Canadian choosing to off their next generation? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just terrible. There's really nothing more to say. It's horrendous. Okay, something that made the news this week that Zane definitely has opinions on. I am intrigued to hear what Zane has to say, because while we'll get to it. I'll explain it later. Sarah Mullally named as new Archbishop of Canterbury. This chick who doesn't look, I don't know, doesn't look.
She looks like the Archbishop of Cadbury.
How long were you three on that?
When do we use the term dame for somebody? When is this a thing? Like
It's
Dame,
the female
Dame Helen
equivalent of
Mirren.
sir. It's
Oh,
the
it is?
female equivalent of a knighthood. Yeah.
Oh, so she has the equivalent of a knighthood.
Yes.
Wow.
So Dame Sarah Mullally has been named as the new Archbishop of Canterbury designate, the first woman to be chosen for the role. A former NHS chief nurse, the 63-year-old became a priest in 2006 and was appointed as the first female bishop of London in 2018, the third most senior member of clergy in the Church of England. This is Catholicism, correct? Isn't this Catholicism?
No, this is Anglicanism.
This is
Catholics
Anglicanism.
don't allow females into the priesthood.
That's what I thought. I didn't think Anglicans did either, but I guess I'm wrong.
Well, it depends on which flavor of it is, and that's what I think I'll get into later.
Okay. Let's see. She used her first public statement on Friday to condemn the horrific violence of Thursday's deadly attack on a synagogue in Manchester, saying hatred and racism cannot tear us apart. Oh, man.
You should have told the immigrants that. Why didn't you tell them that?
yeah, hatred, racism can't tear us apart, but those Muslims down the street sure can.
Goodness gracious. Let's see. Women were first ordained priests in the church in 1994, while the first female bishop appointments were followed 20 years later in 2014. In line with tradition, the process of choosing a new archbishop involves a name being given to Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and then passed to the monarch. So that's so wild to me. It's a state appointment. It's not a church appointment.
Well, it's the state church. The Church of England that's why it's called the Church of England, because it is the Church of England.
Oh, so this is just a bastardized church. That's all it is.
Well, I mean, that's how it's been since the Reformation. And this is actually specifically what the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is trying to avoid. Lots of secular leftists today will claim that the point of the First Amendment is that you can't have any religious influence on government at all, but that's not what it is. All the founders, definitely would have wanted the government to be Christian in a broad sense. What they did not want is a state church like the Church of England was, where you either were in the Church of England or the state government gave you a hard time for not being in it. So the state could not establish the state church under the First Amendment because everybody, was supposed to, the various churches were supposed to be separate from the state, but still the politicians were, supposed to be Christian and not have to hide it.
Yeah, Henry VIII had a problem with that, right? Like that was, I think all the monarchs really butted heads, but Henry VIII was famous for that, and then I don't know if it was the Church of England, but that was the mother. It was Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? She was killing people for learning to read the Bible, but I don't think that was England.
Wow, classic Baptist. A church history right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So, Zach was the one that originally posted in the chat, and he wanted to know my opinion on it because he knows that I am actually Anglican. Now, I'm obviously not in the Church of England, and the backstory on all of this requires a lot of going over silly church politics that honestly will remind you a lot of the Libertarian Party and all of its stupid infighting.
I'm really not interested in hearing all of that, so let's skip it.
Well, you can't skip it because it's crucial to understanding what's going on.
Can you give me the abridged version then?
I will try, but
don't try. Do otherwise you will be booted.
Okay,
no, go ahead. Go ahead, Zane.
Stephen just made it even worse because of his comments. Now I have to go even farther back in time.
Zane, I swear.
Okay, so I'll try to only give you the relevant details. But so this goes all the way back to the Protestant Reformation. So the 1500s, the Catholic Church has gotten very corrupt, introducing lots of accretions into Christianity that not only are not found in the Bible, but very arguably are contrary to Scripture. So a lot of people don't like that. So you've got Martin Luther, obviously, in Germany, but you also have King Henry VIII in England, who honestly is pretty Catholic in his theology, but he politically wants more power over the church, and he doesn't like that the Pope won't grant him a divorce. So he declares that the Church of England is now going to be separate from the Catholic Church, and it's going to be under him. Now, what's very...
just want to interject. Mary Tudor was the Queen of England, and she was fighting this Reformation you're talking about.
There we go.
I was going to get there. Yeah, that's totally what I was going to say. So,
good job, Steve.
So King Henry VIII dies, and then his son Edward comes in, and that's when they start trying to kind of reform the actual theology of the Church of England to be less Catholic and more reformed. But then Edward dies very young because he's very sickly, and then Queen Mary comes in, and she actually puts the Church of England back into full communion with Rome. So they go back to being full Catholic. She starts burning the heretics in her eyes that were responsible for, reforming the church's theology. But then Queen Mary dies, and her sister Queen Elizabeth becomes queen. And then they split from the Catholics again because everybody actually likes the Protestant Reformation and wants to stop being Catholic. So when people give Anglicans a hard time for, their church being founded by King Henry VIII because he was horny and wanted a divorce, that's actually not true, because that schism was undone, and then it was another schism after that. That's actually what's currently separating the Church of England from the Catholic Church. So with that out of the way, the Church of England, when they're colonizing the United States, what would eventually become the United States, obviously they bring Anglicanism over to the U.S. because that's what the settlers are, because they're English. Now, after the American Revolution, you obviously can't have the Church of England in the United States because, you can't have that. So in 1789, they established the Protestant Episcopal Church, which is the U.S. version of what the Church of England practices were. So it's still in the tradition of Anglicanism. But, they took the prayer book and replaced all the prayers for the king with prayers for the president of the United States and for Congress. And so they Americanized it, but they were still in
America.
They were still in communion with each other. So like the Church of England and the Episcopal Church in the United States, which is now what everybody knows as the Episcopal Church, were still like friends and had mostly the same practices. Now, that brings us to the 1950s, where all of the mainline Protestant churches in the United States, but the Episcopal Church most of all, started having very bad liberalism problems, where a bunch of people in the seminary were, and some of the priests were like, it would be nice if we could not take the Bible seriously anymore. And yeah, it contains some good stuff, but do we actually have to believe it? Probably not. Or definitely not all of it. So what the Episcopal Church in the United States was one of the first churches to start doing was ordaining women to the priesthood, which is not a good thing to do, in my opinion. And then as that article mentioned, the Church of England over in the UK starts to do this in the 90s. And it was the crux of it was, up to, the comments say the Episcopal Church is what everybody knows as your priest is a lesbian church, which is true because what always ends up happening in denominations that start ordaining women to the priesthood is that they always eventually start being LGBT affirming as well. Because the idea of having a priesthood be men is that the priest represents Christ in the relationship between Christ and the church. And so if you start having female priests, then you end up having, the female priest and the bride, because the church is portrayed as the bride of Christ at many points in the Bible. So you have the bride and the bride, which is an inherently lesbian theology, if you think about it. So what unsurprisingly happened was in the early 2000s, the Episcopal Church and a bunch of other mainline liberal churches in the United States all started, blessing same-sex weddings and all that. And what ended up happening in in the world of Anglicanism, which I'm more familiar with because I am Anglican, is in 2008, a bunch of conservative parishes and dioceses in the Episcopal Church that were really upset about all of this liberalism broke away from it and joined up with various other Anglican groups that had split off previously to found a new denomination called the Anglican Church in North America, which is what I'm a part of. And it's essentially a bunch of smaller groups that disagree on some things but are united in their opposition to the Episcopal Church being gay.
Okay.
And so the Archbishop of Canterbury is essentially the first among equals in terms of global Anglicanism, the global Anglican communion. So it's the Church of England, the Episcopal Church in the United States, and then various other national churches in places where the UK colonized. So like the Church of Kenya, the Church of Tanzania, various other Anglican churches in Africa and Asia. Yeah, so the Anglican Communion is all of these churches, but it is not the various breakaway denominations like the Anglican Church in North America. So the Archbishop of Canterbury actually has no influence over me or any of the people I go to church with, so you cannot make fun of me over that. But it is a very significant figure in global Anglicanism generally. But something very interesting is happening with now that being a woman, because there's kind of a difference between, okay, I don't like women's ordination, but it's one thing if it's just your local priest versus if it is the figurehead of all of the Anglican communion. That's a bridge too far in the eyes of a lot of these African and Asian bishops of their churches that, you know, surprise, surprise, people in Africa and Asia aren't so hip on the gay marriage either. So there's actually this is actually precipitating probably a major Anglican realignment where these global South churches are actually now in communion with the conservative offshoots in the US and Canada. But so it's like the liberals in the UK and the US are essentially in Canada, by the way, they're essentially going to find themselves kind of off doing their own thing, separated from the rest of global Anglicanism because nobody else likes them. And there are legit concerns about, well, you know, should we leave versus should we stay and fight? Because when the conservatives leave a church because it's going too liberal, then you just increase the proportion of crazy liberals that are in the remaining faction. And to an extent, that's what they want, because these mainline historic denominations, they are the people with all of the resources, with all of the institutional connections, with all of the, you know, very historic cathedrals and all that. So when you leave that to go do your own thing, there is a lot of stuff that you lose when you do that. But, you know, at some point, especially when you have an Episcopal Church government, which for those that don't know, which I assume is most people, that's where you have the bishops over the priests. Whereas, you know, with Baptists and Presbyterians, it's each local congregation is pretty independent from the central authority. But when you are Episcopalian and all your bishops are liberal, then even if your congregation is conservative, the liberal bishop can essentially screw you over and demand that you have liberal priests, even if that's not what anybody wants. So I think there is a legitimate debate to be had over when to flee and when to stay and fight. But because do you guys remember the Sparkle Creed?
Yes. Hang on.
So,
I'll look it up if we can play it.
Yeah, there we go.
What the Sparkle Creed was is some, you know, crazy liberal pastrix wrote it in order to like say that God had like non-binary gender identity and all this liberal nonsense. When Jake pulls it up, I'm sure he'll read it to you. But this was coming out of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, which is one of the mainline Lutheran churches, which is also having very bad liberalism problems. But I think it might be essentially a psyop to get conservatives to leave. Because when conservatives in the ELCA hear this, they're like, wow, I can't be in this denomination anymore. I have to leave. But when the conservatives leaves, all you do is empower this crazy person and make it even easier for them. So it's a very complicated issue.
Here it is.
Non-binary God. Okay, yeah.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit, and let us confess our faith today in the words of the Sparkle Creed. I believe in the non-binary God, whose pronouns are plural. I believe in Jesus Christ, their child, who wore a fabulous tunic and had 2 dads, and saw everyone as a sibling child of God. I believe in the rainbow spirit, who shatters our image of one white light and refracts it into a rainbow of gorgeous diversity. I believe in the Church of Everyday Saints, as numerous, creative, and resilient as patches on the AIDS quilt, whose feet are grounded in mud and whose eyes gaze at the stars in wonder. I believe in the calling to each of us that love is love is love. So, beloved, let us love. I believe, glorious God, help my unbelief. Amen.
Wow.
Okay, but what's important to remember is even in liberal denominations, not all congregations are like that. That's like the worst possible example of this, but people see it and say, well, the entire denomination must be like that.
I think the entire denomination is probably like that.
Okay, well,
I'm just messing with you, Zane.
Yeah. Well, before we get lost in the minutia here, spicy side fact: Queen Elizabeth I, that was where the state of Virginia got its name from. She was known as the Virgin Queen because she was a hideous beast. Never got married. That was right when sugar became available to the royalty, so it was like a symbol of wealth that you could have sugary foods. So all her teeth were rotted out. She was a beast. Oh yeah, no one wanted to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So that's how the state of Virginia got its name, was in honor of Queen Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen.
I'm so glad I moved out of Virginia when I was younger.
Right. Okay.
All right, Zane, do you have more points?
Yeah, so even in the Episcopal Church, which is by far the most liberal, even of all the liberal mainline denominations in the U.S., there still surprisingly are conservative parishes. So there is something called I think the Episcopal Fellowship for Renewal. That's like a network of conservative Episcopalian churches that are trying to reverse all of this absolute nonsense. So if you happen to live by a church in that network, I would recommend that you go there if you're an Anglican. In Metro Atlanta, I'm not aware of any of them. And when I converted to Anglicanism a couple of years ago, I was not aware of any, so I ended up at an ACNA church, which I like very much as well. And the strategy of trying to reverse the liberal takeover of the Episcopal Church is going to be really hard, even compared to the other denominations, just because of how liberal it is, even compared to all the other main lines, and the fact that it's just been so thoroughly taken over.
I mean, I grew up in an area where the local Baptist church had such a stronghold over the local community. It had a say in what got aired at the movie theater. Because going back to like the late 90s, I remember Rose McGowan made a couple. There was a movie she made. It was really popular nationwide, but like we couldn't see it because New Hope Baptist Church didn't want it to go to the movie theater. It's the reason why that theater can't serve beer. Satan might rise up from the pavement and take over if we serve beer at the theater. And it's just now starting to relax. I mean, and that was 30 years ago. So it takes generations for this stuff to really kind of play out, because some of these folks get in there and they are in it to win it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that it would take generations, because the people who end up serving on these things serve for a very long time.
Yeah.
So that's not.
And the takeover didn't happen overnight either. Like these folks had to come up in it, and they had to climb the ladder, climb the ranks. They don't just come out of nowhere and get voted in. You know, even especially the Anglican Church. Like, this didn't just happen overnight. This was someone let their guard down 40 years ago. And now, you know, these folks had kids and their kids had kids, and now they're all in there.
Yep. So there is a little bit of hope. As Zane mentioned earlier, lots of churches are not okay with this that have to do with Church of England. So the Church of Nigeria has left the Church of England. One of the Church of Nigeria calls it a sign of a troubling moral decline. And I think what most people are most upset about is she is pro-choice rather than pro-life. I would suspect that I would describe my approach to this issue as pro-choice rather than pro-live, whatever. Sarah Mullally. So yeah, I think that is one of the primary things that folks, especially like Church of Nigeria, are objecting to and leaving because of.
Yeah.
Well, all this stuff comes kind of in a suite of beliefs. Like, if you support women's ordination, you are much, much, much more likely to be pro-choice instead of pro-life.
Yeah. Some quack says it's a test of faith to worship with people you despise, I suppose. That is a test of faith right there for sure. I'm sure there are other beliefs, but that's the one that I've seen echoed the most. So
I will also say that
from
from
I hear a car in my neighborhood, and I have like 2 neighbors, but I hear a car right now.
Yeah, so that's a problem. Like, it's either the Amazon guy or
it's my idiot neighbor. We kind of share part of a driveway, and then he goes up past my land. He's like 80, and he's lived by himself for like 30 years out here. It's weird.
Wow.
He's an odd fellow. He probably attends the Anglican Church, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, and then you say Dame. I saw Dame pop up there, and I thought of Pootie Tang immediately. Yeah. That's a comb me down on the penny style, my dammy.
Zane, you were in the middle of a point, and I'm interrupted. Sorry. Apologies.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, from what I've heard, there are actually many more conservative parishes in the Church of England, even compared to how many conservative churches in the Episcopal Church in the United States that there are. And because the Church of England is the state church, most of the conservatives did not leave in the same way that the conservatives left the Episcopal Church. So, I mean, some of them did leave. Like, you've got the Free Church of England, which is still pretty tiny. But I get everyone saying that's completely over for the Church of England needs to remember that liberals really have no reason that compels them to go to church. Like, it's the people that love liberal Protestantism are all over the age of 60. If you're under the age of 60 and liberal, then you just don't go to church, because why would you? So in a few generations, the only people that are still going to be going to these churches are the people that really care about it, and those are the conservative, traditionalists. So all hope is not lost.
Fair enough. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Yeah, just stay the course, and don't. It's not a time to keep to yourself. You have to put your ideas in the marketplace. You have to contest, but peacefully, respectfully. You have to be prepared for pushback.
100%.
But quit. Like this is the results of 40 years of keeping your mouth shut and minding your own business.
Yeah.
In that
Steven,
regard.
you're hitting on exactly something that's kind of been a theme the last few weeks on this show. Like, I know you've been working, but we've been, ever since Charlie Kirk's assassination, we've been talking about things like this, where, like, we talked about it a little bit, and people have heard me say it, but like, I didn't watch a ton of Charlie Kirk, but the things that I did watch, I liked and agreed with most of it. But his assassination made me want to be stronger in my beliefs and talk about them and be able to defend them more.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly what you should be doing with things like this.
Yeah. And hey, I don't know is an answer. Let me find out is an answer.
It's such a painful answer sometimes, though.
It is. Well, and here's another answer. I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
Do you? Okay. Here's a question. Do we think Zane has ever used the answer "I don't know" before? I'm interested in that. Aside from conspiracy theories, Zane, if you're in a heated argument on economics, do you ever use the phrase "I don't know"?
You know what? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm sure I have at some point, but
that was really good. Yeah, it's interesting. So, my whole life growing up, I grew up Baptist until about 9th or 10th grade. Then we switched to a like non-denominational church, community church down in Dallas, tiny little community church that actually grew to be enormous. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Watermark Community Church, but they're huge now. And so, like my whole life,
why would you name your church after something that nobody wants and is always trying to remove from their documents?
Watermarks. That's good. But like my whole life, I was told repeatedly, like, women can't serve, as preachers, so on and so forth. And I have never actually looked into why. So some of what Zane has said tonight has been interesting. I'm going to keep looking into it.
There's a passage in Timothy about a man can only have one bride or something like that. Or Jesus referred to the church as the bride.
Right.
And so, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the passages. That's at least what the Baptists throw out too, because that was a big kerfluffle last summer. There was a big mega Baptist church up in Kentucky that had a female pastor, and the Baptist Association said she needs to step down, and you guys are getting disassociated.
Wow.
And I don't remember what the outcome was, but I know there was a lot of like hardline Baptists who were like, "Yeah, about time, get her out of there." And I'm like, dude, like thousands of people show up to listen to this lady read from the Bible. Like, what are we doing? But
it's obviously not that we don't like people listening to someone read the Bible to them. It's that men and women have different callings, right. And it is a unique calling only for men to become priests, in my opinion.
Yeah,
fair enough. That's the opinion I've held my whole life, though I didn't know why, and now I have to do research to back up that opinion.
Yeah, I mean, although like Joyce Meyer, total G. The Battlefield of the Mind. Have y'all read that book?
No.
Oh, dude. I mean, as it goes. I mean, as far as like female pastors go, like that's top tier, man. So yeah.
Well, and we should also be clear that I have absolutely nothing against female theologians or female writers or anything like that. It's specifically in the liturgy, the person that's preaching the word from the pulpit, which is I believe God is speaking through the preacher in that moment to the congregation and is consecrating the elements of the Eucharist. It's important that person meet the scriptural requirements for what it means to be a priest, and one of those is being a man.
Okay.
Interesting. All right.
So it's not just any teacher in any capacity whatsoever.
If she's preaching, who's making the sandwiches? That Grumpy has probably the best point of the night. Way outdoes Zane's point.
You get
Zane's actually citing facts. Grumpy is citing real life experience here. Goodness gracious. All right, y'all. Well, I think Zane, you gave a great opinion and reasoning behind your thoughts on the new Archbishop of Canterbury and the whole history of the Anglican split. It is nice.
You know who will have to get on the show to talk about this, because I'm pretty sure he is Episcopalian.
Who?
Friend of the show and 2024 Libertarian presidential candidate Chase Oliver.
Oh, there you go.
Do we want to go that direction? Would he look? The dude didn't want to be on Dave Smith's show during the presidential election. There's no way he's coming on our show. This would gain him nothing from being on this show. So yeah, probably not going to happen. But
Zach.
what did Zach say? Zach says no, thank you.
Yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough. The audience has spoken. They don't want it to happen. Nothing I can do about it.
I am not fucking drunk.
Well, 19th are blue.
Every pretty girl deserves to go to a ball.
This is everything about it's a clam. I love it.
I gotta be honest with you, I feel like I'm a little bit too drunk to stand up.
On Wiedersehen, asshole.
I'm drunk right now.
Grumpy also says, can queens be preachers? All right, y'all. Welcome to Drunkard of the Week, the part of the show where you get to nominate somebody saying or doing something that can only be explained if they're drunk, but they're not. This week's winner breaks one of those rules, so please enjoy.
Warm up.
Looks like he's about to puke.
Is this Grumpy Nose?
We want to be free to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want to get loaded. Yeah. And we want to have a good time.
Hero of the week is that guy singing. I forget the name of that song, but yeah, phenomenal.
It's "I Will Always Love You," isn't it?
Is it called "I Will Always Love You"?
Yeah.
Dude, that's such a long name for a title of a song. Just make it one or two words and be done with it. Either way, that guy's definitely sober. He's got all of his teeth for sure. He just took a few out for the night. It's one of the best renditions I've ever heard.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Nailed it.
If you want to nominate somebody, I think that was Grumpy Gnome's nomination. If you want to nominate somebody, you can do so by joining the Dollar Media Club over on our website, peacefulseed.network. You can also nominate just on X, #Drunkard of the Week, or just tag us Liberty Libation. So go do it. That one, I couldn't stop laughing. That guy just screaming that that ballad. It's amazing.
Can you imagine being next to him and like, can I get an old fashioned?
Dude, the number of people that didn't turn around that were near him was shocking. Yeah. I don't know.
He does that every night. So
yeah, that's kind of what I gathered, that he was just kind of a regular, and people knew that that's what he just does. All right, y'all. Let's get into our next story. I think, did Steven put this in the chat?
I think Grumpy did this one.
I think Grumpy did this one too. Okay, here we go.
A local high school teacher is accused of trying to pay for sex. Investigators say he's one of several people busted in a sting operation targeting so-called pandering. Channel 2's Tom Regan live at Luella High School in Henry County. The teacher is now on administrative leave.
Yeah, Lynn, at this point, we don't know if that is paid or unpaid administrative leave. I checked the school's website this afternoon. It says that this teacher is an online facilitator. Police say he was nabbed in that sting operation conducted with the GBI just last week.
Personally, that's just unacceptable, and I know parents are concerned, and of course students are concerned.
Reaction off campus near Luella High School following the arrest last week of teacher Kerry Vanderford. He was among those nabbed, including a jailer and U.S. Customs and Border Protection officer, in a police and GBI prostitution sting operation at a Henry County apartment complex.
Soliciting prostitution, probably looking into paying for prostitution.
He's not biased, though, y'all.
Says law enforcement officers follow up on complaints of human trafficking at various locations.
Yes,
and
there's some interesting sides to this
to catch people seeking to pay for sex. In this case, they say a victim of prostitution also showed up.
Victim was rescued. She was received proper medical attention, and that's all I can release about her. This is somebody's child. This is somebody's daughter.
Police say Vanderford has already made his first appearance on a pandering charge, a misdemeanor. Henry County Schools gave us a statement. We are aware that an employee was arrested for a personal matter unrelated to his employment with Henry County Schools.
Oh.
This type of incident is taken seriously by our school and district, and the employee has been placed on administrative leave pending a thorough investigation. There's no indication the employee's arrest has anything to do with his role at Luella High School.
Oh, of course not.
No.
Henry County Police tell me they've made something like 30 pandering arrests so far this year. I tried to find out if the 55-year-old teacher has a lawyer, but was not able to get that information. Live in Henry County, Locust Grove, Tom Regan.
All right. So there's the story. First off, let's tackle it from a libertarian perspective, which I think will be super simple. Stephen, you want to take it from libertarian perspective?
Very, very similar to the maid debate thing. You know, like I said, of like, hey, look, you're depressed, you're wanting to check out. Why can't you sell your organs? Line that up with the donors before you get your affairs in order.
Yep.
You sell it off. Your kids get the money. Your neighbor gets the money. Your charity, whatever, gets the money. You know, hey, you're checking out. You want to do your thing. It's your body, your choice, right? Consenting adult, informed consent. Free will. Yeah, that's the whole premise of all of that. Now, we do have these standards of, at what age do you have free will to make consent with your body? And Shane Gillis has a hilarious bit on, can you imagine being at the Convention of the States debating, being the first one to the debate table of like, at what age, should it be, and he's like, we called this day in Rhode Island. And he's like, 13. And everyone's like, ew, gross. He's like, no, I'm just kidding. 18? Oh, yeah, all right. So, yeah, I mean, again, informed consent, consenting adult, why not? And then not only that, like, if you're an adult film actress or an adult film actor, how is that any different than prostitution? You are literally having sex for money at that point. Oh, but it's art. Oh, we're recording it. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever.
It's not art.
Okay, so Stephen has just provided like the standard libertarian answer, and obviously like that is the textbook libertarian answer. I'm trying to stop using libertarianism as any sort of excuse for people to engage in degenerate behavior, which makes me
as for me in my house, we are not going to act like that, right?
Correct.
So I just want to supplement your analysis with something else, which is, okay, so, the three of us are all Christian. We agree that people should not engage in this behavior. And there are lots of other Christians that will say, right, we all agree that this is degeneracy. Therefore, it should be illegal. And my question to that would be, well, then would you like to make illegal all adultery? Because there's really no difference in the morality of adultery, whether you're paying them or not.
Correct.
And so if the answer to that is no, then it's not really just a moral consideration you're making when you're making prostitution illegal. It's, I think the next thing that they would say is, well, we have to protect women from feeling like they have to engage in that behavior because it's not safe for them to be a prostitute. But it being illegal just empirically makes it a way more dangerous to be a prostitute than it would be if it were legal. And again, we have left the realm of morality because you have already admitted in my hypothetical conversation that you don't want to ban all out of wedlock intercourse. So after you say that, then it becomes a practical question. And the practical answer is making prostitution illegal does not actually help anyone, especially not the prostitutes.
Yeah. Well,
100%.
They get to charge more because it's illegal. I mean, you get that. That's like the one thing. But you also get to get robbed and not have due process because it's illegal.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing of, your standard run of the mill high school drug dealer, You know, you can just punch him in the face, take his stuff. What's he going to do? Call the cops? You know?
Right. Well, it also takes us back to what we were talking about. You and I were talking about at the beginning of the show, Stephen, when it came to the like libertarianism, like political philosophies, economic philosophies versus something that actually holds moral weight. There, like political philosophies and most of them, not all of them, but political philosophies in general, economic philosophies in general are amoral, and you can't base your life on something amoral because then you'll end up doing the things that will harm yourself and others.
And you also can't base your morality on your perceived notion of something that's amoral. You're like, oh, well, I'm a hard-nosed, roll-up-your-sleeve Democrat, or I'm a pray to Jesus tuck your kids in at night Republican. Like that's not how that works, right? You like you still need something else.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Like libertarianism would see these guys not be in jail, but that does not mean that I have to condone everything that they're doing. Like I 100% do not agree with what they're doing, but it's not from a libertarian perspective because I don't base my morality and the morality of all of God's children on libertarianism, which isn't why would you? That's insane. And to do that, I mean, the three of us have definitely seen libertarians base their entire moral philosophy on libertarianism, and it is not pretty, and it leads people to do really stupid things in the libertarian.
I've been one of them at times.
I've not wear deodorant. Yeah, things like that.
I had a friend one summer that switched to a salt crystal, and for 2 weeks I was like, you keep your salt crystal ass over there. That is offensive. I'm sweating out the toxins, bro. Yeah, I'm not trying to breathe them in. You're diffusing those toxins, and you need to keep them over there in your shirt.
Fair enough. I would say if you have a chance, don't. I'd switch from aluminum deodorant to something else.
Yeah,
if you're able.
I use the aluminum free, and of course, the perfume in it might give me the gay, but everyone around me is not going to hate me.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
Yeah,
I mean,
I could be an Anglican.
You could still be an Anglican if all things go to hell. Yeah. So the interesting thing about this is, so for those who don't know, Atlanta is one of the hubs of the entire world for human trafficking, and
we have the busiest airport in the world. So just do the math of what happens at an airport.
Yeah,
good things and bad things.
And so it is interesting to me that the prostitute was treated medically. I don't know if they do that for all of them, like anytime they bust like a prostitution ring or what have you.
Wait a minute. That's something that Alden. That's definitely something that Alden would say.
What? Which part?
Stephen knows.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then the officer's name was Dick Bias. Let Dr. Dick Bias give you a shakedown, lady. We're gonna see what's going on here.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd be interested to know if this lady was actually a victim of human trafficking. Because
that's what makes me think
actually
was treated medically, because that's one of those where they they do the kit if it's one of those and you have to consent to that. But I think there's an age where like you don't really get to consent to that. If you're entering that charge officially, if you're filing that report, we're doing that test. It's one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, Grumpy says, "Is it cold over there, Jake?" Yes, it is. About 50 degrees right now, 40 something degrees. So, and I'm out of my porch because I'm still freaking spray foaming my house. So, yeah, I'm slowly layering up as the night goes on.
Nice.
The final layers, so it's all good from here. Anyway, Zane, did you have anything to say about the possibility of the sex trafficking and human trafficking side of this?
Oh no, I didn't. I only read the headline.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Atlanta. Atlanta, Metro Atlanta. Is one of the hubs because we had the spotlight on us. I say us. The Atlanta area. The spotlight was on the area a few years ago because the what was it? The Red Roof Inn across from the new Turner Field, not Turner Field, but the Brave Stadium, Coolray Field. Is it? Whatever it is, where the Braves play.
Oh, Truist Park.
Thank you, Truist Park. Goodness gracious.
Coolray
Field.
Is that where the Gwinnett Stripers play?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The AAA Braves affiliate.
There we go. See, Braves are associated with that. Okay, no. The Atlanta Braves, the Major League Baseball, across from that, the Red Roof, that hotel was apparently like one of the hubs. And that's one of the things, nationally and regionally that's being, investigated is like hospitality workers, because by and large you get like the cleaning crews that are, let's say they're not technically on a visa, but they're here, and they tend to be in cahoots. They can be easily bought. They can be easily leveraged. Anyone of that status, especially in today's climate, it can be one of those like, hey, one phone call and you're going back, and it's Ciesielski,
Yeah.
Yep. So, and hate to say it, but I mean that's one of the aspects of it. That's just one of those things where, once illegality is involved, you don't have due process. So it's definitely one of the darker sides to society. But again, like what we just talked about, this stuff creeps in. This rot happens because why? Because people keep to themselves and keep their mouths shut.
And I'm not sure you can blame. I mean, prostitution isn't called the oldest profession in the world for no reason.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I practice the second oldest, by the way, which is the oldest that God approves of. So, cheers to that.
Yeah, I want to know something interesting. My YouTube channel, Peaceful Seed, that most of y'all are watching this on, commented.
I think I'm logged in as you, because I made that comment.
Oh, I thought that was just Jake engagement farming.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. I replied to Grumpy, and then it came up as Peaceful Seed. I was like, wait a second, that's not me.
Did you do it through? Oh, did you do it through the show? Like through StreamYard? Okay, that makes more sense. Yes, if you're because you're a host through my thing. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I was like, somebody is out there commenting on things from my channel. That's hilarious. No, feel free to keep doing that. That's great. I was just confused momentarily. I forgot you had those privileges.
Ah, yes.
All right, y'all. I mean, Zane, are you ready?
Oh yeah.
There we go. I was not as quick as I normally am.
Your mic went to crap.
My mic went to crap?
Hey, there it is. Okay, I can hear you better now.
I got to go get my board real quick. Be right back. Find the rules, Zane.
All right, everyone. Welcome to another week of Libations Trivia. Thanks again for watching. As usual, we have trivia in 3 rounds. Round 1 is 8 questions, 1 point each. Round 2 is 6 questions, 2 points each. Round 3 is 4 questions, 3 points each. If you are in the audience, please leave a comment with your answer, and we will accept the first comment that's not an obviously joke answer as the audience response. So, in case you are not aware, today is October 9th, which is Leif Erikson Day. So we have a highly themed trivia for you. Round 1 is all about Norse mythology. Round 2 is Vikings and history, and round 3 is Vikings and culture.
And they're all just pictures of Jake without a beanie.
I would accept that.
All right, round 1. Question 1. Bearer of Mjolnir.
I gotta get some dry erase markers. You have to see the comments, Zane, because I can't see them.
Yep, I've got the comments up.
All right. We're ready when you are.
Jake.
That would be Thor.
Steven.
I also said Thor, and let me get my camera awareness there. There it is. All right, Thor.
Grumpy says Jake, but someone else says Thor, so it is Thor.
And let's not forget that one time Captain America.
Grumpy's not wrong. I named my phone Mjolnir, so he is actually correct.
Wow. That's not lame at all.
Whatever. It's no longer named that.
Well, what's your phone's name?
My phone's name is now the Tree of Knowledge, and then my work phone is the Tree of Knowledge of Good and Evil.
Yeah. So what
is that? What? So is that so you don't take a bite out of it?
Sure.
I don't want to give away another answer, so I don't want to pronounce that word. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Question 2. Father of Thor and husband of Frigg.
What the frig?
Also a spy agency in the show Archer.
Ah.
Go ahead, Zane.
Steven.
I said Odin.
Jake.
Odin.
Audience also says Odin. It is Odin. Longtime listeners of the show will remember that the name of the day Wednesday comes from Odin because it was originally Woden's Day.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you this,
Zane. Trivia after you took a certain vacation, right?
Zane, I'm going to tell you this. No longtime listeners of the show remember that.
I did.
You're not a listener. You're on the show.
Question 3. Killed by Loki with a spear made of mistletoe.
Ooh. Killed by Loki. Go ahead.
Steven.
I just said Frost Giant.
Jake.
I said Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Audience is stumped, but this is Balder.
Balder.
Okay.
With one fewer vowel than what is necessary to make that word.
Yeah. I'm a fan of his gait.
Question 4. Realm of the Gods.
Oh, shoot. Ah. Five seconds.
Steven.
I'm saying Valhalla.
Jake.
Valhalla.
Audience also says Valhalla, but this is Asgard.
Gummit. Avengers is actually right about something.
I know, right?
That really pisses me off.
Stanley read books. What?
So Valhalla is just the afterlife, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin anything.
Question 5. Drinking hall in Asgard.
What? Drinking hall? I mean, go ahead, I guess.
Yep.
Steven.
So I'm saying Ashall. So when
Jake.
when you drink too much, you're acting like an asshole.
I'm saying beer garden.
All right. Audience says World of Beer. Jake, remember last week when you said that whenever someone says the answer to a future question, I have some sort of tell, but you weren't going to tell me what it was?
Dadgummit.
Oh.
Be serious.
Now would be the time for Valhalla.
I have not been looking at you very much tonight, so that, or during the trivia, so that would be the reason why. I couldn't pick that out. I assumed Valhalla would be an answer. I just didn't think it would be that.
Well, it is a drinking hall in Asgard, so the more you know.
Interesting. So their heaven is just a
drinking
pub.
hall.
It's just a pub.
Yeah.
So when I was
Very
looking
Irish, I thought.
when I was doing the research for this question, the Norse conception of the afterlife is actually really complicated, and there are like 5 different places that you can go after you die. Asgard being the best, and Valhalla is a location in that where all the best warriors go to drink with Odin.
Huh.
So that's pretty neat.
What's the worst one?
Hell. But with only one L.
Oh, that's funny. All right, go ahead.
Question 6. Rainbow Bridge connecting Asgard and Midgard. And Midgard is the word for the Earth.
I know who defends it, and that's Idris Elba.
James Bond?
Steven?
The Bifrost.
Jake?
LGBTQ.
That's also what the audience says, but Steven has it. It is Bifrost.
Yeah, that rings a bell. I've only watched all those Marvel movies one time, and not even all of them. And that's
Question
the only reason
7.
I've known that.
Final battle in which most of the gods die.
Ooh.
Got it.
Norse mythology is interesting in that a lot of the mythology is actually about events that are prophesied to happen in the future. This being the big one.
Okay.
Steven?
It's Ragnarok.
Oh, good one.
Jake?
Avengers Endgame.
Audience also has it. It is Ragnarok.
Yeah, that makes sense. I believe that. I should have Thor Ragnarok. I mean, I'm an idiot.
There's an indie artist on YouTube, Peyton Parrish. He does a lot of cool like acapella type songs, and yeah, it's all like Viking themed stuff.
Yeah, I know Peyton Parrish. Yeah, that's great stuff.
Yeah, he does the Assassin's Creed theme.
Yes, that's such a good theme.
Question 8. Title character of epic poem in which he defeats Grendel.
Ooh. I had to read this in the original Old English in high school.
I also read it in high school, but not in the original.
Oh, I have a cassette tape of me reading it in Old English.
Herga burga durgan herga.
Yep.
But when I was taking British Lit in 10th grade, he had us read like one paragraph from the Canterbury Tales in the original Middle English, and it was completely incomprehensible.
Right. That's how you can go to the Irish bar in Atlanta, and it's like, sweetheart, I know we're speaking the same language, but I don't have a clue what you're saying to me right now.
Go ahead.
All right, Steven.
Beowulf.
I could not think of that word.
Jake.
I said Homer.
Audience has nothing. Steven even spelled it right, which is difficult to do. It is Beowulf.
Yep. I do not remember Beowulf. No idea.
All right. At the end of round 2, at the end of round 1, we've got Steven with 5, audience with 3, and Jake with 2.
Last week, everybody beat the audience, Steven.
Oh, wow.
I know. It was impressive.
Oh, it looks like someone in the audience actually got Beowulf, but after I revealed the answer, do you want to be nice or do you want to be mean?
Depends on how far after. There's normally a 5 to 10 second delay.
All right. It was a couple seconds after. So the audience score has been updated to 4.
Generally, if it's under 5 seconds, I will give it to the audience. Even though they're cheaters.
All right. Round 2, Vikings in history. Question 1. A Viking settlement dated to the 1020s, possibly the settlement established by Leif Erikson and his company, is on a site now known as Lonsall Meadows on what Canadian island? For those who don't know, Leif Erikson Day is commemorating Leif Erikson, the real European discoverer of the Americas, who landed in Canada 500 years before Christopher Columbus stumbled upon on the Caribbean.
Right.
So, Steven,
go ahead, Zane.
I'm saying Prince Edward.
Jake.
I'm saying Newfoundland.
The first audience answer is Iceland, which I honestly do not know if that's a joke or not. Given that I was nice on the last question, I'm going to be mean here and say that was legit, which is unfortunate because the next audience answer was Newfoundland.
Yes! Suck a butt, Steven.
Yeah.
Steven,
just wait. I will.
I think you and I never win trivia, so this is a battle of the worsts.
Right. The Lysol toilet bowl.
Question 2. Leif Erikson's father, Eric the Red, is notable for leading the European settlement of what location after he was banished from Iceland in approximately 982? Great Foley work. You should do some ASMR and put it as bonus content for the Dollar Media Club, which you can join for $1 per month at peacefulc.network.
Yeah. There we go. Dude, I do love ASMR. I've got two Greenland.
Yeah! Audience also says Greenland. It is Greenland.
Darn tootin' right it is.
Question 3. What term refers to the portion of Great Britain ruled by Vikings from approximately the 9th to 11th centuries? The exact territory changed throughout this period due to various battles and treaties.
They mentioned this on the show Vikings, shockingly.
Yeah, right.
But I have not watched that show in like 3 years, about 4 years. No.
I read a poem a couple of months ago called The Ballad of the White Horse, which is about King Alfred the Great, the King of Wessex, battling against the Vikings, and this comes up. It is a very nice poem.
Nice.
Oh, cool. I like Sir Gawain in the Green Knight.
That's
totally irrelevant to what you're saying, but yeah, it's a really cool story. All right, I'm ready. Jutland.
Jake.
I just said Northman.
Audience says Viking land. Jutland is a place, but I forget what place it is, and it's not this, because this is the Danelaw.
Ah. Watata Sokatau, my Danny.
Danelaw, Judi Dench.
Question 4. One of the first Viking incursions into Great Britain was the sack of Lindisfarne, an attack on what type of facility? It occurred in 793 and is often considered to represent the beginning of the Viking Age.
A Lindisfarne. The sack of Lindisfarne.
I'm literally just referencing a Vikings episode. So we'll see if it's correct.
So I'm saying lending. So bank.
Jake.
Saying monastery.
Oh.
The audience says cathedral, which I'm inclined to give credit for, because it is monastery. So you apparently did learn something.
You're darn right I did. That show's perfectly historically accurate.
Right? Apparently it is.
Question 5. What kind of vessel, often used by Vikings, is pictured here?
Frickin' A. Why can I not remember this?
I'm going to get this one wrong. Going for it, though.
Steven?
I'm just going out on a limb here, and I'm saying trireme.
Oh, that's such a good answer.
Jake?
Slew.
The audience says boat. Steven, if memory serves, a trireme is, I think, a Greek or maybe a Roman ship. But
It's Greek. It's Greek. I grew up playing Age of Empires. It's Greek.
Yeah, it's Greek. I grew up playing Civilization.
There you
I
go.
still
Yeah.
do. But it's a great answer.
This is, in fact, the long ship.
The long ship.
Oh.
Yep.
Question 6. One possible, although unlikely, etymology for the word honeymoon is from a Viking tradition of giving newlyweds a 1-month supply of what beverage? It was commonly enjoyed by them, but contrary to popular belief, they did not invent it.
Right, because it actually came from Africa hundreds of years prior.
Actually, thousands of years prior.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Many moons before.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, go for it, I guess.
Steven?
Mead.
Jake?
Freaking gummit. Beer.
Audience also says mead. It is the fermented honey beverage mead.
Mead is so good.
Which means at the end of round 2, we've got Jake with 8, Steven with 9, and the audience with 10.
Coming
Close
for you,
game.
audience.
Literally anybody's game.
So it will all come down to how well you all know round 3, Vikings and culture.
Okay.
I don't like how you put that at all.
Why not?
It just is ominous for me and Steven.
Question 1. In 2024, what quarterback led the Minnesota Vikings to a 14-3 regular season before laying an egg in their wild card game against the Los Angeles Rams? After the season, he was traded to the Seattle Seahawks.
Crap.
Oh, yeah.
Steven?
I'm still writing it, but I'm saying Kirk Cousins' predecessor.
It's actually Kirk Cousins'
Antecessor.
successor.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm even saying.
And his name is Sam Darnold.
Oh.
The audience says Warren Moon, but it is Sam Darnold. Question 2. This iconic scene is from an advertisement for what company? And it's a photo of a Viking standing on a bus with the caption, "If you get long-term payments, but you need cash now."
Long-term payment. It's a jingle, and I can hear it in my dadgum head, but I cannot remember. You got to give me a few seconds on this one. Dang it! Go for it. I don't know. I can't remember.
Steven?
It is Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Jake?
Nothing.
If you get long-term payments, but you need cash now, call JG
Wentworth.
877 cash now.
Ah!
Audience did get that.
I knew it was a jingle. I could not remember J.G. Wentworth. Did the audience get it?
They did.
Dadgummit, they're back in the lead.
All right, got a clean house.
Question 3. Real Vikings did not actually wear horned helmets. The idea that they did originated in the 19th century, largely due to operas about Vikings such as The Ring of the Nibelung by what man?
I hate you for this question. I was feeling so good about this third round, and this one ruined it all.
The only 19th century opera composer I know of is going here, and he has a Viking-sounding name.
Go ahead, because I ain't getting this one.
Steven.
Heinrich Ibsen.
Jake.
Phantom.
The audience says Jake. Oh, but that's a joke. And the next audience answer is the correct answer, which is Richard Wagner.
You can't be serious. Steven, my joke was Phantom of the Opera. Come on. Get it together.
Yeah.
They just sealed it. F!
Coming for that
Question
number 2.
4.
Here we go.
What former Disney World attraction located in the Norway Pavilion at Epcot was named for a Dutch, not Norse word, meaning whirlpool? It was closed in 2014, so it could be remodeled into the Frozen-themed ride, Frozen Ever After.
What former Disney World attraction located in the Norway Pavilion at Epcot was named for?
I was there last November. Holy crap.
Dutch word meaning whirlpool. Huh. I've never been. Don't care to go, much to my wife's dismay.
Steven.
Saying Verapulin.
Jake.
I'm saying blurg.
Blurg. This is Maelstrom.
Oh!
Never would have gotten that. Did the audience get it?
The audience says the Norway boat ride.
There we go. I always thought of a maelstrom as like a hurricane. It's just why all the poets wrote of one.
That's what in English it came to mean, but if you look it up in the dictionary, it actually means a whirlpool.
It's good to know. Yeah.
Which means at the end of trivia, we've got Steven with 9, Jake with 11, and predictably the audience wins with 16.
Yeah.
I hate having hope. Like for a minute, I had hope that me or Steven would win.
The silver lining to all of this to me is that I do know a little bit about a lot. So
that's some good silver lining.
I don't know a lot about much, but I know a little bit about a lot.
If you can't know a lot about a lot, at least you know a little about a lot.
Right.
That's what you get for calling us cheaters, losers. Thank you, audience. All right, you have your place back upon the throne. All right, everybody. That was Libations Trivia. You can join every week around 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, which is my time. Generally, we try to get trivia done or trivia started at around 9 p.m. So be careful, Zach. One extra letter or one different letter, and you're banned from YouTube forever. So just watch yourself. All right. Okay, let's go to our final story of the evening, which who here knows what the riots in Portland or whatever is happening in Portland is actually about before we watch this video?
I mean, probably immigrant stuff.
Yeah. All I know is Trantifa being Trantifa.
Okay. And then who is Nick Sorter? I know he's some type of news personality, like on the street type style stuff. But I did not research this because I thought Nick was going to be on the show tonight. Nick Ciesielski, not Nick Sorter.
Yeah. Is he a Proud Boy?
It's a good question. I honestly don't know, but his X account has been suspended, so I can't do any research on him via X.
There you go. Well, we misspelled his name. There's 2 O's in Sorter.
Well, everybody's misspelling it then.
Yeah. Well, his X account is also Nick Sorter with 2 O's.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is off to a really good start. This is going to be such a good.
He's a conservative influencer, apparently.
All right. So here you go. You can kind of see it. This guy is getting beat down in the streets. He's on the ground right now. He gets back up. He's over here. And then he starts defending himself. So he is live streaming. You can't see his live stream because he got
Mark's a veteran. He's
kicked
got
off
it.
of X. Yeah, and then he keeps getting threatened by a bunch of people. And then in the next video, he's getting detained and arrested, even though he's the one who got beat up.
Dude, the cops on the Huffy 10 speeds are killing me.
Dude, it's freaking hilarious. Like, what are we even doing?
They just upgraded from Razor scooters.
Let's see. Yeah, some dude who was detained because he got into an altercation. Yeah, that's.
I mean, seriously. I mean, four yardsticks.
Yeah.
4 yardsticks is all you need. You don't even need a full yardstick. 4 rulers, and you have immobilized a whole police force right there, and you can get away.
See, some quack. After I got this story, that's what I kind of determined from this. He got detained momentarily and then got released. So people are on the internet are making a huge deal of this, which
there's a lot of that lately. There's well, he didn't like Charlie Kirk. Let's fire this guy. Whoa, hold up.
Okay.
That it's both sides are, this is what we're seeing right now is the conservative side using the ring of power that has now been, that was previously granted the liberals. And now they're going, he hurt me. Oh, he did, stop it. Just, and if Nick Sorter wasn't kicked off of his social media, he would probably come out and say, hey, stop it.
Yeah.
They let me go. That's how they handle things. Look, they see a riot starting. You go, you push everyone down. You say, all of you shut up. We're going to figure this out for a minute. That's the old tactic. Now, 40 years ago, what were the police tactics? Down here in Atlanta, Fort Gillum, the communists used to riot once a month. They would go, what is now Tyler Perry Studios, used to be a military base. And the commies would show up once a month and riot. Now, what would happen? The cops would show up and they would watch. They wouldn't just start spraying people. They would watch for a minute. Who's at the center of all the commotion? Are they causing more commotion? Are there any ringleaders? And they would, you spend about 5-10 minutes. You isolate it down to about 3 or 4 people that are really in there in the middle of the crowd stirring the pot. And you go grab them, and they got these little keychain things called Kubaton. My dad was a cop growing up. Little Kubaton, little just solid piece of just, I don't know if it's wood or a polymer. I don't know what it is. It hurts. They take that and they ram it up your armpit, and they carry you off in an alley and beat your ass. And the riot stops. It's fantastic. They don't do that anymore. Now they just arrest everybody that's around the area, and then they try to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. My issue with this is I don't know. I didn't have an angle on this story because I thought Nick was going to be here to explain his side of it and explain why he thought it was of particular interest for a story on our show. But I thought after doing a little bit of research, just the amount of skewed and unresearched and jumping the gun that there is online leads to some pretty stupid things. Like
Wow,
trying to
and
make
this is the first time that has ever happened.
It's first time that's ever happened. But like I don't know. It is definitely a did y'all ever watch the show The Newsroom on HBO?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It was there for like 3 seasons. It was the politics of that show were absolutely stupid, but it had some decent ideas, one of which was this guy comes and takes over a newsroom and basically says, we're going to stop trying to get to things first and we're going to get to things correct. And that is what I miss about people, quote unquote, reporting things on social media, which is they're just putting out a video with their opinion on what happened during just that video. It had nothing to do with the lead up to it. It didn't have anything to do with what happened after. They end it at a very convenient time just to get the clicks. And that stuff drives me absolutely crazy. There's no integrity in it. You're not. This actually could go back to our capitalism. What we were talking about with like capitalism and morality and things not being like capitalism not being an amoral economic philosophy. And it's just so many people base their lives on earning money and getting attention.
Yeah.
And that's not sustainable and it's not productive and it will not do any good for yourself or anybody else.
Well,
like
and from the video that I just saw, he was alone. So knowing this guy, knowing his level of stature,
yeah,
what he does, the following he has, the amount of people that follow him, the crowd he commands, the pulpit that he has, for him to be in that crowd alone, that's exactly what you're looking for, dude. You are inviting chaos. Now, how hard is it to have 2 or 3 close people with you?
Yeah.
It's like at that point, it's, hey, I'm Nick Sorter and this is Jackass. Today I'm going to walk into an Antifa mob.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see this article now, where he's calling out the police chief, calling him Chief Brain Dead, because he's just like, I was the one that was shoved in the corner. I was the one that was harassed and punched. My stuff was stolen. My stuff was broken. Why was I even detained? And then instead I have this police chief, condemning me on camera on daytime TV. Like, okay, so that part, that's legitimate. Sure. But I mean, like, you know what you're walking into.
Yep.
At that point, like you did that. I mean, what we just from that video that we just saw, dude's alone. You're alone.
Yeah.
At least what the Proud Boys did was they had a crowd with them. They were the Proud Boys. It was the boys. They all went into action.
Hang on. Can we start our own YouTube channel just called The Proud Boy and just send Zane into different protests?
No,
Zane,
I don't want the label of proud anything, actually.
Oh man. I still remember the video. It was the guy, Rufio Pan Man. And I think it was at the Portland protest. When he went up against somebody in Antifa. I think that poor kid's sunglasses they're still in orbit. It's that one. It's the infamous thing.
I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, because he's just walking down the street. And some kid walks up, swings a bat at him. He dunks under the bat and just boom, right cross out.
Yep.
Yeah. And but again, they knew what they were getting into. They knew what they could encounter, and they had a posse. They had, well, I don't want to say posse because that bears a connotation with it, but there was a group. They had witnesses. They had helpers. They had, other people to document. So for this guy to show up alone in that area, when we've seen now for, I don't know, almost a decade, Actually, I won't even want to say that because the Occupy Wall Street thing, going back to like 07, 08, Portland was instrumental in that too. So now, I mean, we have an entire generational event here in this city that the climate when you walk into this stuff, what you're going to encounter. You cannot go alone. You cannot go unarmed, especially if you go alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
So, but then on the flip side, hey, I know, the whole Charlie Kirk thing is fresh on everybody's mind, but like, don't be very careful not to cry wolf. Because this whole, if you're going to be part of, this movement, this whole, if you're going to be one of the watchers, any part of the pendulum swinging back the other way, you cannot use their tactics. You cannot do the same thing they did just on the flip side, because then all you're doing is continuing to, tick tock, pun intended. It's just the metronome here. Eventually, the cycle has to be broken. And, if you want to push against this stuff, you have to break the cycle. Now, the tactics you're using, that's how you break the cycle. But you don't go into that alone. You don't go into an angry mob always just by yourself and just like, hey, guys, I don't think like you. Watch what happens.
Some quacks, right? And always gets people riled up. That is correct. That happens regularly. I mean, he's gotten beat to crap a couple times.
Yeah. Alex Jones shows up and he's in a freaking tank and he's got bodyguards.
Yep. Yeah. Don't be. Yeah. Yep. 100%. Yeah. I think that's all that needs to be said about this story. We can go ahead and start wrapping up. Y'all, thank y'all for watching this episode. We're going to get to some funny videos here in a little bit. But before we do, head on over to peacefulsea.network. Check out everything we got to offer. We got 9 shows on the network. We got some documentaries. We got a movie. We're in pre-production on our first feature film. And yeah, you can sign up for the Dollar Media Club for $1 a month and get access to the Discord, as well as a few other things, and support the network while you get entertained by our discourse on the Discord. So go check it out. And yeah, I don't know. Steven, Zane, y'all got anything else to say before we go to the funnies?
No, that's about it. I just want to say, there's some things that are going to be happening, with the financial climate, with the economic climate. We see, religious shakeup now. Everything that's happening. Just remember what makes sense. Just take a second to take a breath and think about things before you react.
There we go.
That's it.
Also, always buy Bitcoin. Just keep buying Bitcoin over and over again, forever.
Yeah.
Zane, you got any final words before we hit the funnies?
I mean, how could I top that sage advice?
Perfect. All right. Well, then I won't come to you ever again after I say buy Bitcoin. That'll be that'll be your cue to not talk anymore, I guess. All right. Here we go, y'all. We're gonna watch a few funny videos and we're gonna get out of here. I believe this was submitted by Zane.
In the life of a social media influencer, I usually like to start off listening to my favorite Carpenter's cover band and a hot matcha. Today I'm off to my friend Brian's house to do his podcast. These social influencers do each other's podcasts because it helps you gain followers, and it's really not that hard. You just tell the same stories you told on the other podcasts. I thought this picture came out fire. What do you guys think in the comments? Brian said his studio was in the basement, but his stairs were like these crazy curly fry stairs, and I really didn't want to go down them. I asked him if we could maybe record upstairs, but Brian said the equipment was downstairs. I was kind of in a pickle, but I didn't want to be a problem. Brian led the way, and I sort of hesitated for a moment. I think he noticed. He was cool about making me feel comfortable and even helped me get started. Brian decided to show me how it's done. That's a real friend. I had an idea that I thought was pretty cool, which was just to record from the top steps, but Brian said no one would be able to hear me. It was time to put on my big boy pants and get down these stairs. Yeah, it's like not possible. Just walk down like any other kind of stairs. These are regular stairs. They just twist.
I mean, they really committed to this bit.
Oh man.
Oh, I forgot my phone.
Don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? You said you.
Kyle Dunnigan, comedian. He's funny.
Oh yeah, he is.
All right. Next video is some type of, I don't know, some type of riot, and just watch. Yeah, just watch what the riot.
Oh, I submitted this one.
Watch what the riot police do to this guy in the costume. Dude, they spray mace in the induction for his inflatable costume.
Oh.
So it's just going all inside that costume. That is so stinking funny. That is genius.
I saw another one recently too, where there was a rider. So like National Guard guys, like standing at attention, and the rider's like, "What's your name, soldier? What's your name? What's your name?" And there's like 2 minutes of that, and then "What's your name, soldier? What's your?" And then the guy just like you just see it like just so subtle. Little pepper spray comes up, and he's like, "Sergeant Peppers," and the guy's like, "Ah!"
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, this is a submission from my wife.
Yes. Genius. Absolutely genius. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. All right, and the final one of the evening. Enjoy. Wife carrying as a sport.
One way to prove that you really love your wife is by carrying her through an obstacle course. Okay, that's really the point of wife carrying, but nevertheless, this sport rules. The first modern event was in 1992 in Finland, and there are competitions all over the world. This right here is the North American Championship. Now, technically, you don't have to be married to the woman you carry. In fact, she could be someone you just met. How scandalous. There's 3 main ways to carry: the piggyback, the fireman's carry, and the most popular, the Estonian. This is where the wife hangs upside down with her legs around the husband's shoulder and her hands around the waist. However you carry your wife, make sure your relationship is rock solid, because one wrong move and you're going to be single before you know it, playing slow pitch softball in a parking lot with a man named Cliff. One way to prove that you really love your wife is by carrying her through an obstacle course. Okay, that's not really the point of.
Yes.
All right. Dude, that is so freaking genius.
And in Finland, so like the original competition there, the winner gets their wife's weight in beer.
Whoa. So you're incentivized to have a heavy wife.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. So these were invented in Finland.
Yeah.
I like it. I need to go to Finland and try this with Nikki.
I like how the clip said that it was the first modern competition was held in Finland in 1992. So it's like the Olympics, where it's some ancient sport that they resurrected.
There was some very dark end to the ancient race, though. Like, there's no way it was just a race for beer. It was definitely a race to see whose wife was beheaded for being a witch or something.
Yeah,
we did. You didn't have to. You didn't have to say that.
Yes, I did. I absolutely did. I hear my neighbor's dumb dog barking right now, which is really annoying considering I'm out in the middle of nowhere. But all right, y'all. That'll do it for this week's episode of Liberty Libations. We'll have a free Georgia podcast on the network on Monday evening. Philosophical Fall Guy will come back in a couple weeks. Duke is currently on vacation in Italy, enjoying everything that Italy has to offer, which is mainly just pasta and delicious food. So, what else we got on the network? We got the Junto podcast hosted by Edgar Mills, former Green Beret, who owns Osprey Shooting Solutions. If you are in Georgia and want to learn how to properly handle a firearm. What else we got on the network? We got Banished Big Brother, which is on a little bit of a hiatus right now because Zach just had his baby, which is why he is not producing this show. Friggin' slacker. What else we got? I don't remember. Wrexham Texans on hiatus till December or January because I am overwhelmed with things at the moment. So go check out peacefulseed.network. You can tune into all those shows and see what more is coming. You can also go check out Peaceful Warrior Ranch on Instagram, which is what will be maybe the biggest show we've ever created, which is about homesteading in the middle of nowhere, Montana. So you can go check that out. We're just kicking off the Instagram account, and we'll get all.
You're gonna read your diary in the background where there's like action shots of you building your own cabin by hand.
There actually will be like a construction ASMR type side hustle for that one. It'll be delightful. So yeah, go check that out. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Steven, so good to have you back, my man.
Good to be back.
Heck yeah. Zane, we'll see you. Actually, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
You will.
Enjoy your week off. Peace.
Cheers.
I will.